Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So once again, I welcome you all to the lecture series of operating system. This is the second lecture, and today we are going to focus on different types of operating system. And before that, we are going to understand what are the functions of OS, and then we will come to the what are the different types of OS and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the different types of OS. Okay, hope guys everything is clear to you. I'm moving forward. So these are the various functions like transferring the input from input device to memory. This is the task of OS because whenever you are entering something through mouse, when you are clicking through mouse or entering through the keyboard, that information is going to memory. And who is responsible for that? Operating system is responsible for that. Transferring input from memory to CPU. Now, who is going to transfer that particular data from memory to CPU? That is operating system. Who is transferring from CPU to output devices? That is also being done by the operating system. Who is going to show the message on the input screen as well as output screen? Obviously, that is OS. Who is responsible for execution of programs and user instruction? Obviously, OS. Who is responsible for production of storage devices from the overwriting? Obviously, OS. OS is also responsible to maintain the details of files, directories with the respective details. Whenever you create a new folder or new file, automatically the date, who is the creator of that particular file, and where that particular file has been stored, everything is being stored in the that particular file, which is called as metadata. The metadata means nothing but the data about data. Whatever data you have storing on that particular file, that is your content, but at the background OS is maintaining the actual information of that particular file, when the file was created, who was the creator of the file, at what location that particular file has been stored, where it was been previously open, ये file को पहले कब open किया था, that every information is being managed by the operating system. It also provides the security to users data, program and the other files.
साक्षी पेडकर चा प्रोफाईल काय?
Yes, Tajan, any problem? Hmm. While lecture
What
going
happened?
on,
Hello?
yes, Sakshi. Yes, Sakshi, you were saying something? While lecture going on, if you have any doubt, you can put your questions in a chat box so that the class will not be get disturbed. Okay, moving towards the functions of OS. It also provides the security to the user's data, program, and the other files. So, getting something. If you are logging to the operating system, it also asks for the user accounts. While logging to the system in Windows, if you're talking about Windows, because most of the people they are working on Windows, so in that case, you can have your own account. You can have password for that. So that type of security is also being provided by the operating system. You can have locking system to the files. You can locking system for the directories. So these are the various functions of the operating system. Now moving towards the different types of OS, there are different types of operating systems like batch operating system, multi-programming is another concept, multitasking is another concept, multi-processor OS are there where the multiple processors are being used in the operating system, distributed OS, cluster OS, the combination of multi-processor and distributed. Real-time OS is also there. And last one is a desktop. And last one is a desktop. Okay, just a minute. Now we are starting with the batch operating system. The first picture is being shown is called as a bash operating system. Now what is happening in that? When the computer was first evolved, in that cases there were the punch cards. So what we are going to do, these the jobs and data, what you are seeing, this is called as the punch card. The control cards, program cards, data cards, and the next job. These are the punch cards. So we will be having the punch cards and the group of punch. the group of tasks has been given to the operating system for execution. That particular group of cards is known as the batch. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, आपके बैच में कितने लोग हैं, बैच में अकेला बंदा तो नहीं होगा, बैच में 30 लोग होंगे, 50 लोग होंगे, 100 लोग होंगे, तो उसका एक बैच बनेगा. सो बैच का मतलब क्या है, मल्टीपल जॉब्स वर देयर, मल्टीपल जॉब्स in a particular group, that is referred as a batch. So that batch was given to the operating system for execution. And batch, but it was very tedious time for to understand that how much time is required for execution of this particular batches. The user prepared job, which is consist of the programs, the users, some control information, which is also known as the control cards. Now the job was recognized with the special marker, which includes the indicating and the start of the job. Every card has a notch which indicates the start and the end of the program or end of the card. The job was usually in the form of the punch card. So the information is being saved in the punch card, and that punch card is given to the operating system as a input. After execution, the output will get appeared, and output will be considered as a result of the program. Okay, the program is being executed. So what is the result of that program? Now, why are you using job? To speed up the program. So what the operator has been done, there has to be some operator who will separate the jobs according to their categories, like data cards are different, program cards are different. So there was one controller, or we say the coordinator, who will what he will do, he will separate the cards and he will create a bunch of that cards, and that will record as a batch, and that batch is given to the operating system, and after execution of this particular batch, we will be having output as a result of the particular input. What is the batch? Batch is nothing but the sequence of the user's jobs. So in this particular system, the decision has to be taken by the operator. Operator has to be there. Operator has to monitor everything what is happening over there. So batch monitoring, it is also known as the batch monitoring system. So batch monitor or supervisor is a major component which permanently there to observe what is happening over there. There is another function in that particular job which is known as the batch monitor, which is responsible for scheduling of the programs, the memory requirement of the programs, and sharing of the programs. So this is the very simple job programming. Then what we have? Then we have the multi-programming. So multi-programming is a technique to execute a number of programs simultaneously by a single program. Here what we are executing only one program at a time. In that one program, we are having different cards, but only one program we are executed in a batch operating system. In multi-programming, we are having concept to execute more number of programs simultaneously by a single processor. It doesn't mean that multiple programs are executed side by side. You have learned in DCFM. If you have gone to the microprocessor, what is the functionality or characteristics of microprocessor? Microprocessor, that is CPU, will execute only one process at a time. That you have been learned in the fundamentals of digital circuits and microprocessor. So here also, when the multi-programming concept comes into picture, that multiple jobs are executing, the multiple jobs are executing side by side, or we can say multiple jobs are executing simultaneously, but only one process will get executed by the processor. Okay, so you have when you are saying that multiple programs or multiple processes are executed simultaneously by a single processor, it doesn't mean कि एक अकेला प्रोसेसर पूरे काम एक साथ कर रहा है. एक साथ करेगा, बट वहां पे एक टाइम लिमिट होता है, वो टाइम लिमिट के बाद ही वो करेगा. वो क्या होगा वो हम लोग नेक्स्ट यूनिट में देखेंगे. Okay, so in multi-programming, the number of processes resides in the main memory at a time, and whenever a CPU want to execute any process, that process need to be resided into the main memory. So if a process is being main memory, then automatically it will go to the CPU for its execution. So multi-programming means what? Multi-programming means we have created the RAM in which the multiple program will reside in a waiting queue to get executed by the CPU. This is the concept of multi-programming, that multiple programs are waiting side by side. So there is another alternative for keeping the CPU and the devices continuously busy, which is called as buffering and spooling. Now let me tell you what do the buffering and spooling. Buffering means a temporary memory is being used when we are working with the input-output devices. Input-output devices means like printer, monitor, keyboard, etc., etc. So if you have more number of peripherals attached to your computer, in that case, we need to understand that if more number of programs is given to the output devices, जैसे आपने प्रिंटर को बहुत सारा प्रिंटर का कमांड दे दिया है, in that case there would be buffering. The data need to be buffer in particular location. There is another concept of which is called as spooling. Spooling is nothing but the request which is made for a printer to print a page. What we have a system buffer. So whenever we are giving print command to a printer, the content or data which is going to be print on a printer on a pages, that particular data is being copied into the printer buffer. Printer device itself have its own buffer. Okay, so that particular information get copied into the buffer of printer, and from there it will take the information and get print out. Okay. Now let me ask you one question. Okay. Need to be aware. Huh? You need to be aware while I'm talking, because you need to understand what I'm asking you. Okay. Suppose there is one computer. I want to take a printout of my resume. My resume is of 2 pages. So what I will do, I will attach that my pen drive, because my resume is in my pen drive. So what I will do, I will attach a pen drive to my computer. I will give command, print command, and then what I will do, I will remove my pen drive. Now please let me know whether the print action will be taken or not. Whether I will get printout of my resume or not.
No, sir.
What I have done, once again I'm going to tell you what I have done. I have inserted the pen drive. I have opened my resume in my pen drive. Then I given the command for printing of 2 pages, and then I have removed my pen drive. Now what will be the output, or what will be the next action? Whether I will get printout of my resume or not. You can
Sir,
post your answer in chat box also, or you can, if possible, because that one mature, you can unmute yourself one by one and answer me.
sir, you definitely get your print.
Pardon, what you said?
I said, sir, you will definitely get your print.
Okay. Akansha saying that I will definitely have my prints. Okay. Previously, someone was saying yes. There are a total of 67 students, so I won't answer from all the students, or I can say most of the students. Okay. Now my next question is, whatever would be your answer, yes or no? If yes, then why? If no, then why? If I'm getting printout, why it's so? If I'm not getting printout, then why it's so? So those who are saying yes, sir, we will definitely get a printout. Why it's so? Because I have removed the pen drive and my data, my resume wasn't in my pen drive. So how I will get a printout? That is my question. Yes,
Because
Akansha.
sir,
Yes, Sujot. Yes.
because resume's data is copied into buffer memory.
Yes, very good. The resume data has been copied into the buffer memory of the printer device.
Yes.
So if you remove the pen drive from that, meanwhile that particular data has been copied into the buffer, so automatically you will get printout. My next question is, suppose Now in current situation, there was only 2 pages. What if there would be 100 pages, and if I remove the pen drive, what will happen? Whether I will get printed out or not.
If the buffer size is enough to copy all 100 pages, then it might get print out, or
Very good.
it might not.
Very good, Suraj. I appreciate your answer. Very true. It depends on the buffer size. If there are 100 pages, you would get at least 5 to 10 pages. You are not supposed to get all 100 pages at that time because data is in pen drive and you have not copied that data into the system. So if data is in system and if you close a file, then you will get 100 printouts because data already into the your machine in your system. So printer can detect that data from the computer. But if you remove the pen drive, data cannot be detected, so you will not get printout of 100 pages. Very good, very nice interaction. Okay, so this is the about the multi-programming concept. Now we will move towards next. That is multitasking. Now there would be confusion. Most of the times you will have confusion in multi-programming and multitasking. Multi-programming means we are executing number of programs at a time. That is called as multi-programming. Whereas if you are running multiple programs simultaneously, that is called as multitasking. Now you will ask me, sir, what is the difference between both of them, multitasking and multi-programming? A task means a process. A task means process. Whenever a program get into the memory, it becomes a process. Okay, or when it is in execution state, when it has been executed by the CPU, then we will call it as a process. So there were programs which were residing into the memory. That was the concept of multi-programming. And when the programs coming into the CPU for execution, that is called as multitasking. But previously what I said, that was very true, that processor is executing only one process at a time. Processor is executing only one process at a time. So how it is possible to have the multitasking? Multi-programming is clear to you. I know multi-programming is clear to you because in multi-programming, number of programs are residing into the main memory or waiting into the main memory get executed by the CPU. But in multitasking, there are number of programs get executed by the CPU, but CPU executing only one process at a time. Then how the multitasking is being executed then? Can anyone answer?
Sir, due to threading, context switching.
I think you must be from DSY. Okay, direct second year?
No, sir. First year, from first year.
From first year. Okay. मतलब मैंने जो कल कहा था कि तैयारी करके आना है तो बच्चे तैयारी करके आए हैं?
नहीं सर, ऐसे हॉलीडेज में एक बार ट्राई किया था OS का.
Very good, very good, very good. You are near to the answer. This concept is called as context switching. Very soon we will see what is the concept of context switching. So meanwhile, don't get confused in between the multi-programming and multitasking. It seems to be very similar while talking about the multitasking and multi-programming, but these are not very similar. Now in diagram you can see every CPU having their own registers, having their own cache memory. Register is nothing but storage. Cache memory is also storage. So every CPU having their own storage in the form of registers, in the form of cache memory. And every CPU is being connected to the memory. So in multitasking, what we have, the number of programs are executed side by side by a single CPU. Now, if we compare this system with the multiprocessing system, what is different in that? The multiprocessing system means in which we are having multiple processors. When I'm saying multiple processors, इसका मतलब क्या है? Multiple CPUs. If I'm saying multiple processors, it means multiple CPUs we can have. जैसा आपने dual core का नाम सुना है, dual core. Have you heard about dual core?
Yes, sir.
Dual core,
Yes, sir.
i5, i7.
Yes, sir.
अभी जो जनरेशन चल रहा है ना हमारा i5 i7 का जो चल रहा है अभी, थर्ड जनरेशन, फोर्थ जनरेशन, फिफ्थ जनरेशन में हम लोग है अभी। तो ये जो सीपीयूज है, दे आर हैविंग मल्टीपल कोर्स। ओके, CORE, कोर। There would not be multiple CPUs residing side by side. There would be only one CPU which will be having multiple core, and depending on that core हम उसका नाम रखते हैं। Dual core means two core. Each core is one CPU. So physically you can see only one CPU. अगर आप आंखों से देखोगे तो आपको एक ही CPU वहां पे दिखेगा, एक ही ऐसे आपको दिखेगी वहां पे लगी हुई। But when it comes for execution, when it comes to logical way, there are two CPUs residing in one CPU. So here the residing CPU is referred as the core. Multiple core in a single processor. So dual core का मतलब जिसके अंदर दो कोर है, मतलब दो CPU है। क्वाड कोर का मतलब ऐसा होता है कि जिसमें चार कोर है, चार कोर मतलब चार CPU है एक ही CPU के अंदर। And the external memory, that is the RAM, that is the main memory. Here onwards we will not say RAM, we will say main memory. Whenever it comes to random access memory, we will call it as main memory. ठीक है, क्योंकि OS में हम उसको main memory बोलते हैं, हम लोग RAM उसको नहीं बोलते, main memory बोलते हैं उसको। वो RAM ही है, बट यहाँ पे उसको कंसेप्ट जो है वो हम लोग main memory लेके चलते हैं, क्योंकि every time there would be concept of memory, we have to refer as a main memory, and other memory means a secondary memory, that is your hard disks and all. So multiprocessor means you are having multiple cores in a single CPU. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of having that multiple cores on a single CPU? इसका फायदा क्या होगा? Can anyone tell me? कि पहले तो मेरे पास पहले जो कंप्यूटर था Pentium 4 वगैरह था, उसमें तो एक ही CPU था तो भी काम होता था, और यहाँ पे जो मल्टीपल CPU अगर एक ही साथ आएंगे तो क्या फायदा होगा?
सर रिलायबिलिटी बढ़ जाएंगी उसकी।
Reliability on what sense?
सर इफिशियंसी।
Efficiency बढ़ेगी। Efficiency बढ़ेगी। Efficiency क्यों बढ़ेगी?
सर बिकॉज मल्टीपल सीपीयू रहेंगे, वो मतलब एक ही मेमोरी से मतलब एक ही मेमोरी में स्टोर हो जाएंगे, उसका जितना भी वर्क है वो एक ही मेमोरी पे हो रहा है वो।
No, I'm not talking about memory. I'm talking about CPU. That is processor. Memory is different. Processor is different. If I'm talking about multi-processors, there are multiple CPUs, not multiple memory.
सर
Then once-
दोनों
हाँ,
कोर जो है
yes.
ना अब काम नहीं के आधा आधा बांट लेंगे।
दोनों कोर जो है
एक
काम
कोर
आधा
आधा
बांट
काम
लेंगे,
करेगा।
एक आधा मतलब एक ही काम को दो लोग डिवाइड कर लेंगे तो जल्दी जल्दी काम हो जाएगा, ऐसे कहना है आपका?
हाँ वैसे ही
ओके, अच्छा, ओके। और कोई जवाब?
सर वही हुआ ना टाइम की, मतलब टाइम कम लगेगा फिर उसको, अगर एक काम को अगर दो लोग बांट लेंगे तो इसलिए इफिशियंसी उसकी बढ़ जाएंगी।
टाइम कम लगेगा, एफिशिएंसी बढ़ जाएगी।
तो सर इकोनॉमिकल भी हो सकता है शायद।
क्या?
इकोनॉमिकल भी हो सकता है ना, कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव।
इकोनॉमिकल भी हो सकता है, यस। इन व्हाट सेंस इट वुड बी इकोनॉमिकल?
सर क्योंकि एक ही मेमोरी यूज कर रहे हैं मल्टीपल सीपीयू।
एक ही मेमोरी यूज कर रहा है मल्टीपल सीपीयू, तो इकोनॉमिकल कैसे हुआ? मेरा तो खर्चा बढ़ गया भैया, 2 सीपीयू खरीदने पड़े ना मुझे। मुझे बताओ, ये जो 2 सीपीयू वाला जो फंडा है, ये महंगा रहेगा या सिंगल सीपीयू महंगा रहेगा?
सर बट आपको जो एफिशिएंसी होगी तो हाई मिलेंगी, मतलब जो अपन काम कर रहे हैं 1 घंटा लग रहा है तो आधे घंटे में कर देंगे दोनों मिलकर।
चलो इसके ऊपर आता हूं मैं। जिन्होंने भी जवाब दिया, थैंक यू सो मच कि आपने इनपुट दिए। सबसे पहले चीज जो जिन्होंने पहले कही थी कि ये जो लोग है अपना आधा आधा काम बांट लेंगे। अब ये काम बांटेंगे, कैसे बांटेंगे उसका भी एक तरीका है। सो देयर आर 2 टाइप ऑफ डिफरेंट सिस्टम, दैट इज असिमेट्रिक मल्टीप्रोसेसिंग एंड सिमेट्रिक मल्टीप्रोसेसिंग। Asymmetric multiprocessing means there would be a concept of master and slave. There would be a one master. If I'm considering the system of quad core, where are 4 processors are there. 4 processors means 4 core are there. Just imagine if there are 4 cores, and out of which one will be master and other will be slave. तो भैया मास्टर तो काम करेगा ही ना, वो तो स्लेव से ही काम करवाएगा। So whenever the task will come to the CPU, what master will do? Master either differentiate the task or distribute the task equally among them, or what it will do, it will give to slaves and it will set ideal. That will be also conditioning as asymmetric multi processing. So in current scenario or in current days, we are not applying the asymmetric multiprocessing, or in current computer that you are using, they are not having the concept of asymmetric multiprocessing. They are having the concept of symmetric processing. Symmetric processing means that each processor will have identical copy of operating system. Typically, each processor will have the self-scheduling form, that no one is going to tell you that what kind of task you have to perform. The CPU itself identify the task and it will get executed. And if there are multiple cores, the amount of work is equally distributed among the multiple cores. So this is the concept of symmetric multiprocessing system. Now there are the advantage, very truly said by the students, those who have participated in that particular session, interaction. They said it would be economical. Now why it is economical? I have asked you one question. If there are two CPUs, obviously वो महंगा होगा, और उसके पहले वाला जो कंसेप्ट था जहाँ पे एक ही CPU है वो सस्ता होगा. तो फिर हमको दो CPU यूज करना इकोनॉमिकली कैसे फायदे में? हाँ ठीक है कि आपने कहा था कि भैया उसका इफिशियंसी बढ़ जाएगा, लेकिन इफिशियंसी बढ़ गया लेकिन खर्चा भी तो बढ़ गया ना. बट मैं बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पे उसका खर्चा नहीं बढ़ा, वो इकोनॉमिकली सेफ है. Why it's so? If you are using a computer which is having only one CPU in that, and if you are working that particular system, if that CPU get corrupted, your whole system will get hang. You are not supposed to work on that particular system क्योंकि आपका CPU काम नहीं कर रहा है. But that would not be the case in the multi-core system. उसमें से अगर आपका एक सीपीयू खराब हो जाता है तो पूरा का पूरा जो है टास्क है दूसरे सीपीयू के ऊपर आ जाएगा. अगर आप क्वाड कोर की बात करते हो जिसमें से एक कोर अगर आपका खराब हो जाएगा तो जितना भी टास्क है वो लोड 4 की बजाय 3 के ऊपर आ जाएगा, लेकिन आपका सिस्टम नहीं बन पड़ेगा. ये खासियत है इसकी मल्टी प्रोसेसिंग की.
हाँ सर, मतलब अपन पूरा सिस्टम लेने से बच जाएंगे, सिर्फ सीपीयू खराब होगा.
सीपीयू खराब हो जाएगा, बाकी जो सीपीयू अपना काम करते रहेंगे और आपका सिस्टम जो बंद नहीं पड़ेगा, आपको नया सिस्टम लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. इसलिए ये जो है इकोनॉमिकली हमको पूरा आता है. ठीक है. और सबसे पहले आपने कहा था कि भैया रिलायबिलिटी भी है. थ्रूपुट का मतलब ये होता है कि मोर नंबर ऑफ वर्क गेट डन इन द लेस टाइम. ठीक है, कम समय में अगर ज्यादा काम अगर मुझसे करवाए, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज थ्रूपुट. तो हमारा थ्रूपुट बढ़ेगा. एफिशिएंसी बोलने से अच्छा एफिशिएंसी उसकी भी है, ऊपर वाले की एफिशिएंसी नीचे की भी है क्योंकि कंप्यूटर है वो. तो सिंगल सीपीयू जिसका है उसकी भी एफिशिएंसी अच्छी होती है और जिसमें दो कोर है उसकी भी एफिशिएंसी अच्छी होती है. बट एफिशिएंसी से ज्यादा हम लोग थ्रूपुट पे ध्यान देते हैं क्योंकि कम समय में कितना ज्यादा काम हो पाएगा उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं थ्रूपुट. तो मल्टी प्रोसेसिंग में हमको थ्रूपुट अच्छा मिलेगा.
मतलब थ्रूपुट मतलब वही है नंबर ऑफ जॉब एग्जीक्यूटेड पर यूनिट टाइम.
नंबर ऑफ जॉब एग्जीक्यूटेड पर यूनिट टाइम, लेकिन यहाँ पे टाइम लेस होना चाहिए.
यस.
ठीक. यस. Now next is the turn of distributed operating system. Now what is distributed operating system? अभी हम लोग जो यूज कर रहे हैं ना उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं distributed operating system. कि भैया एक कंप्यूटर वहां रखा है, दूसरा कंप्यूटर वहां रखा है, तीसरा कंप्यूटर वहां रखा है और सबको हमने नेटवर्क के थ्रू कनेक्ट कर दिया. जैसे अपने लैब में वगैरह देखा होगा ना आपने. Every system is having their own processor, every system is having their own memory, and every system is having their own operating system. Okay. And they are connected through a network. This is called as distributed operating system. In distributed operating system, like what we see in previous example, that is multiprocessor, where what they are doing, they are sharing the memory. Every CPU sharing the memory, same memory they are sharing. But in distributed system, each processor will have their different memory. Each processor will have their own memory, that we can say. Here, the distributed system is also called as the loosely coupled system. Now, why it is called as loosely coupled system? Because it has its own memory. If it has its own memory, it will be called as the loosely coupled system. If it does not have its own memory, it is being shared, then it will be referred as a tightly coupled system. So, multi-processor system is also called as tightly coupled system. The previously what we said, that is multi-processor system is also called as tightly coupled system, whereas distributed OS is also referred as a loosely coupled system. Why I'm saying that? Because in exam, they would not ask you about distributed OS or multi-processor OS. They would directly ask you about tightly coupled system and loosely coupled system. So we need to understand that loosely coupled system is nothing but the distributed OS, whereas the tightly coupled system is the multi-processor OS. The advantage of using that particular distributed OS is the sharing of the resources. You can share the resources. For example, I am having 4 computers, and if these 4 computers are connected by a network, then I can have one printer which can be used by all these 4 computers, because the printer is also connected by a network. So whenever you required, you don't need to go to another processor and ask him to get a printout. You can get printout from your own processor. So this is the beauty of the distributed OS, so that you are not dependent on others for working. Okay, so if they are connected in a network, though it is connected in a network, if one processor get failed, the other will carry their work on. Okay, if there are 4 systems connected to each other, and out of 4, if one system get hang or it is get failed, in that case other 4 system will continue its work. They will also be in network. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि भैया यहाँ से वहाँ जुड़ा है, वहाँ से वहाँ जुड़ा है. तो ये अगर नेटवर्क में कनेक्ट है, तो नेटवर्क में से एक नोड अगर फेल हो जाए तो आगे उसका कनेक्शन नहीं जाएगा, आगे उसका सिग्नल नहीं जाएगा. That would not be the case. They are having their own network. Okay, and in this distributed system, we will be having only single OS that is running on all computers. If they all computers having the Windows operating system, in that case we will say yes, this is the distributed OS. And what if we have the multiple OS on multiple system? जरूरी नहीं है कि हर सिस्टम में OS Windows ही रहेगा, किसी में Linux भी होगा. So in that case, it would be referred as the cluster OS. When your OS get changed into distributed OS, it becomes a cluster OS. It is a combination of multiprocessing as well as a distributed. Multiprocessing means what do you mean by cluster? Cluster का मतलब जहाँ पे distributed वाला भी चलेगा और multiprocessing वाला भी चलेगा. There would be computer which will be having the multiple processors. There would be computer which will be having the different operating systems. And if we connect all these computers into the network, that will be referred as the cluster operating system. That would be referred as a cluster operating system. Okay. Now, cluster operating system is combination of distributed, that is loosely coupled, and it is combination of distributed, that is loosely coupled, and tightly coupled, that is multi-processing operating system. So cluster OS is called as closely coupled, which is not completely loosely coupled and which is not completely tightly coupled. That's why it is called as closely coupled system. So what do you mean by closely coupled system? Closely coupled system मतलब कौन सा? Cluster. Loosely coupled मतलब कौन सा? Distributed OS. और tightly coupled मतलब कौन सा? Multi-processing system. Then we will move next. That is real-time OS. Then real-time OS means it is dedicated systems that merely works on deadlines where time is a constraint. Now, what do I constraint? Constraint is a specific rule. A time is given, within that stipulated time, tasks need to be completed. Within that stipulated time, tasks need to be completed. That is called as real-time operating system. Now, depending on the gap which is given or time span which is given for that, उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि भैया ये हार्ड रियल टाइम है या सॉफ्ट रियल टाइम है. ठीक है, ये हार्ड रियल टाइम है या सॉफ्ट रियल टाइम है. व्हाट डू आई हार्ड रियल टाइम? हार्ड रियल टाइम का मतलब ऐसा होगा कि जहाँ पे डेडलाइन का जो टाइम पीरियड है वो डेडलाइन पे हमको मिलना ही है. ठीक है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल रोबोटिक्स है. रोबोटिक्स का जो आर्म है उसका भी हमको टाइमिंग देना पड़ेगा ना, उसमें रियल टाइम ओएस लगा है. इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रोबोटिक्स, वहां पे रियल टाइम ओएस यूज होता है. तो रियल टाइम ओएस का मतलब क्या है कि भैया रोबोटिक्स को हमने टाइम दिया है कि ये इतने सेकंड में हाथ ऊपर जाना चाहिए, इतने सेकंड में हाथ नीचे आना चाहिए, इतने सेकंड में उसकी मुंडी करनी चाहिए, इतने सेकंड में उसको झुकना है, इतने सेकंड में उसको चीजें उठानी है नीचे से, इतने सेकंड में उसको चीजें रखनी है. तो यहाँ अगर कहीं टाइम आपका कम ज्यादा हो गया तो रोबोट जो है वो तरीके से काम नहीं कर पाएगा. बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्री में क्या होता है, रोबोट से काम करवाते हैं. और इंडस्ट्री में जब आप जाओगे तो वहां पे हर एक सेकंड की वैल्यू है. ठीक है, तो वहां पे जो रोबोट काम करता है उसको टाइमिंग दिया रहता है कि भैया इतने सेकंड में ये काम होगा, इतने सेकंड में ये काम होगा, इतने सेकंड में ये काम होगा, और वो आगे बढ़ेगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ऑटोमेशन. सो इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑटोमेशन, इट इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ हार्ड रियल टाइम सिस्टम. व्हाट इज हार्ड रियल टाइम सिस्टम? क्योंकि जो आपको टाइम दिया है दैट मस्ट टू रेस्ट्रिक्टेड, वो उतना टाइम में होना ही चाहिए और उतने सेकंड में होना चाहिए, और जहां पे टाइम गैप जो है बहुत कम होता है, विच इज मेयरली नो सेकंड्स. ना व्हाट डू मीन सॉफ्ट रियल टाइम? सॉफ्ट रियल टाइम का मतलब ऐसा है कि भैया ऐसा रियल टाइम सिस्टम जहां पे टाइम का डेडलाइन जो है वो थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे चल जाएगा. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आप एटीएम मशीन में गए, एटीएम मशीन में आपने अमाउंट डाल दिया, अमाउंट निकलने के लिए कुछ टाइम लगता है. ठीक है, तो हार्डली इट रिक्वायर्स 40 सेकंड, 50 सेकंड, या कभी कभी 1 मिनट भी लग जाएगा अगर आपने अमाउंट ज्यादा डाला है तो. ठीक है, कभी कभी 1.5 मिनट भी लग सकता है. तो वहां पे टाइम मैटर नहीं करता ऐसा कि नहीं भैया 2 मिनट में पैसा निकलना चाहिए, 30 सेकंड में पैसा निकलना चाहिए, तो बैंक के ऊपर केस कर देंगे. ऐसा नहीं होगा. सॉफ्ट रियल टाइम का मतलब टाइम कम पता चलेगा. पैसा निकलने में हो सकता है कि जहां 30 सेकंड लग रहे थे वहां 1.5 मिनट लग गया या 2 मिनट लग गए. वी कैन वेट. हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि वहां 5 मिनट या 10 मिनट आपको मशीन के सामने खड़ा रहना पड़ेगा. अगर आपको 5-10 मिनट उसके सामने खड़ा रहना पड़ रहा है तो फिर वो रियल टाइम ओएस नहीं है. ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर हम लोग रियल टाइम की अगर बात करें तो यहाँ पे टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट को सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है. एंड लास्ट वन इज योर डेस्कटॉप. डेस्कटॉप मीन्स the computer that you are using at your home for your personal work, जिसमें कंपनी मतलब ये होना चाहिए, वो सॉफ्टवेयर होना चाहिए, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है. बेसिक सॉफ्टवेयर मतलब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑफिस की अगर मैं बात करता हूँ, नोटपैड की बात करता हूँ, कैलकुलेटर तो बाय डिफॉल्ट ये सब चीजें इसमें होती ही है. ये चीजों के साथ अगर आप काम करते हो, दैट पर्टिकुलर कंप्यूटर और दैट पर्टिकुलर रिफर्ड एज द डेस्कटॉप. ठीक है, इसको हम लोग डेस्कटॉप ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम बोलते हैं. जैसे विंडोज की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो विंडोज क्या है हमारा, डेस्कटॉप ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, GUI बेस्ड. So here we end with the different types of OS. So if you have any doubt till now, just type in a chat box or you can ask me.